What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Yak Nasty Adventures in Fishing. And today, we're going to be talking about fall bass fishing. You know, when that weather gets chilly, you're wearing long sleeve thermals. Yeah, you know what time it is. When those leaves fall off that tree. Yeah. So stick around, because as we talk about fall bass fishing, you're going to be hearing about baits, you're going to be hearing about locations, and, you know, a little bit of technique, a little bit of juice for you guys. So, hey, let's get into it.
Oh, this one's bigger.
So, guys, you know what time it is. Cold weather. The time where right now guys are out deer hunting. Some guys put the boat up for the year. The season is pretty much over for a lot of guys. But if you're like me, you're going to fish it all year round as much as you can, as much as your body can stand. You're going to get out in that weather. You're going to sling that rod, and you're going to try to put your one on. So, guys, this is for you. So, guys, in the fall, mainly after Halloween, that weather really starts to break cold. That thermocline has gone away. So fish really can be anywhere they want to be right now. All right. So everything's oxygenated, cooler, more comfortable conditions for the fish, because they definitely do not like hot water. I don't see how anyone loves 100-degree weather. I mean, really, guys, it's really uncomfortable. But now that we're cooling off and we're getting cold up north, yes, guys, in many places it's already cold. But where I'm at on the East Coast, it is a mild temperature and it's slowly falling. So what I like to do in the fall, when I'm fishing that slow cooling water, we got some of that cool breeze out. We got jackets on, hoodies on, long sleeve thermals on. What I like to throw to just start the day is a crankbait. I will do it to try to find some fish. All right. First thing tied on is a crankbait. I'm going to throw it much as I can. It keeps me warmed up, keeps the juices flowing, and I'm in that thing. So most of the time I start off with a KVD 1.5. Yep, just a square bill. I'll throw that thing up to some cover. I'll throw it in some of those little divots and some of those laydowns that don't have so many branches. Yep, I'll just throw it as much as I can, because I really like to, you know, snatch that thing, burn that thing per se. I like to get it moving. I like to sweep my rod a lot of times just so I can feel the vibration of that bait. And I also like to throw it out as far as I can get it and kind of slow reel that square bill. You know, it's just not moving that fast. It's not going crazy. And yes, guys, that will catch you a fish. So, you know, just mix up your cadence with that square bill and that will get it done, right? That'll definitely do it. But guess what, guys? When that square bill's just not getting it done, when they're just not seeming like they're going to sit at the top, well, that's when I like to throw a nice Guggen flat-sided bait or a bad shad to get a little bit deeper, that 7-foot, that 5-foot range, you know, really get down up in there. A lot of my waters here on the East Coast aren't very, very deep. So 7-foot diver is not too bad at all, and you'd be surprised how many fish sit in that range. And I do the same technique. I'll sweep the rod, or I'll just slow reel it once I get it down to where it needs to be, and just kind of work that thing. I don't even impart a lot of action. I'll just reel it back to the boat. And that surprisingly gets some decent bites, guys. Yeah, definitely. So the crankbait will get you some bites, right? That's the first thing I'm throwing. It gets me out there, it gets the mojo flowing, and I get one on, get a little confidence, and then the bite maybe slows down, or it's just not hitting like you want it to hit. That's when you grab bait number 2. Yeah, guys, bait number 2. Underspin. Yes, this little guppy head underspin right here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is amazing underspin. All right, this one is the 3/8 ounce, and this is an Addiction Baits underspin. And Addiction Baits is a bait shop out of Maryland, and they do an awesome job, man. They have some awesome baits, some chatter baits. They really go out and they specialize in catching snakeheads and stripers, and these guys get out there and do some fishing. So Addiction Baits, I'm telling you, check them out. addictionbaits.com. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I'm going to tell you, this bait will get it, so you're getting my honest opinion. See how that works? It's not even close. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of tangle, a lot of fouling up, or anything like that. That Addiction Bait minnow head, yep, with that underspin right there, look at that, man. This thing gets it, and it gets some depth to it too. Has some definition, but this bait gets it. The underspin is awesome. And I also love to use, as you guys know, VMC. Yep, that VMC HD blade right there, man. That thing gets it going. HD is for heavy duty. Look at the wire on this hook, guys. Man, that is a thick 3/0 right there. That thing is a sweet, sweet hook. Okay? If you gonna get it, you gonna get it with this VMC underspin, guys. And I use this and pair that up with a 3.8 kietech. Man, this thing, that fat impact swing right here. Look at that. Oh yeah. Now, that kietech 3.8 really gets the job done on that VMC underspin. And another plastic to put on that is a little bit bigger, but sometimes you want that bigger profile to make that bigger fish feel like he's going to bite on something, okay? You want him to feel like if he passes up this meal, it might be his last time getting something of this size. So that there Divine Swim Bait by 6 Cents, awesome, awesome bait to pair up with that VMC underspin as well. These baits really get it going when put together. I'm going to tell you, I like it in the colder water and the cooler months of the year. So that second bait, underspin, man, you can throw that in the back of the bays. You can throw it in the creek mouth openings, okay? You can throw that thing off the points, okay? You can go work it out there, and you just bring your tip up and just let it swing on back down. You know, bring your tip up and let it swing on back down, or you give it that slow, methodical reel coming across that bottom, giving just a little bit of flash and tinging on whatever debris is down there. And you want that little bit of noise, that little bit of attractant to the fish to get those fish biting, guys. So do that with the underspin. Have a little fun with it. Swing it out there. Throw it around the cover, under some of those overhangs. Definitely aim for the greener bushes, okay, because where the green is life, all right? And that is something I spoke about last year, if you want to go back and check out last year's video this time of year. So guys, Try that underspin, try some of those techniques, and I bet you get your one or two on, right? The third bait I love to use while fall fishing. I just love this bait. Um, it's one of my favorite techniques. I think my favorite technique, actually. I just love it, and I haven't been throwing it a lot this year just because I wanted to play around with some other baits. So, I had to put it down, guys, just for a minute, but it's always tied on. And the bait that I'm talking about today is the jig. You know what I'm talking about. The jig, guys. The jig. This is my favorite technique to get out there, throw a jig, play with the laydowns, under docks, those overhangs, get around that greener cover. Some of those trees don't turn and they stay green. Those pine trees, the hollies, when you see those on the bank, go ahead and throw in there. See what happens, man. See what happens. The jig will get you some awesome bites. Like this one here, that's one of those Strike King little bitsy bug jigs. Oh my gosh, that color is pretty awesome. Black, blue with that red. Another one here, little teeny bitsy bug style bait. I like the smaller, I can't say finesse jigs because they have the weight. They're just smaller. And those smaller jigs really get some good bites. And I also like to throw a structure style jig. This one here by Phoenix is pretty dang cool. It's got a little sparseness to it on purpose. It gives it that scraggly look, and I don't know, it just gets the bites. I got this one attached to the Rage Tail, and that's pretty good pair up. I'm gonna have to switch this one out though. It's been beat up pretty good. Um, but I love fishing a jig in the fall. You throw that thing at the laydowns. You throw it anywhere you have some brush. You throw it where you got some rocks with the football jig. Let's see if I got one here. I don't even have one up here. You throw that football jig around the rocks, and you throw your bitsy bug in some of those larger laydowns, some of those larger brush piles. That's what you want to throw that thing in. Just get it jerking around a little bit clear water, but you can get down with a little bit of stain to it, and get up in them laydowns, guys, because the fish are uptight to cover. All right, this time of year they're gonna draw up a little closer, a little tighter to some cover. Water's a little cooler. The weather normally is not the best with the northeast winds and stuff like that. So in my area at least, so these guys are always sticking close to some cover and always trying to stay safe. So you're gonna have to get that jig in there tight to that cover and just work that thing. Give it the 2 pop, give it the 3 bop, get that jig working just a little bit and then let it sit. Work it a little bit and then let it sit. All right, guys. But you don't give it but 3 to 5 seconds and give it a little bit of bop, and then you will see that line start to move off in one direction or another, and that's when you know you got a hookup. You snatch right on that thing and you get you one on, guys. So the jig is one of my favorite techniques, man. I just love fishing the jig, and I really had to put it down because I got stuck in that mode. That's how much I love fishing a jig. All right, moving on, because I'll talk about jigs all night long. Get yourself this next technique. You gotta have it tied on all year round. It never fails. Okay. All you gotta do is pick a plastic and put that thing on, and you got it. I'm talking about a Texas rig, guys. Get yourself some EWG hooks. Pick some plastics out. This here is the Berkeley Gilly. Uh, get you some plastics. Throw that on there. I love a swim bait. You guys know it. I love swim and fish style baits more so than any other bait. when it comes to the Texas rig. But I'm going to tell you a little something, and I say it all the time because you can fish this all year round, all right? And there's a little secret behind it, but it's not so much a secret, okay? But my buddy told me, and I said, get out of here. Well, bass hate lizards, okay? Because when they're spawning, right, the lizards or salamanders get in the water, or they're already in the water, and eat the eggs, guys. So I put on a nice 8-inch zoom black lizard with the red flake, and I love the green pumpkin with the pepper flake, and I love a red flake as well. And I also love a brown with the black peppered flake in there. That thing just gets bit as well, man. So get yourself a lizard and put that thing on an EWG style hook, and guys, you will catch you some fish, all right? That is really how that works, okay? You also have your crawl style baits, you know, not a whole lot of kick. It's not a rage crawl. It just has a nice little flutter kick to it. This guy here, this is, I think, a Berkeley. Yeah, it's a Berkeley crawl right here.
Yeah, boy.
So, get yourself a crawl style bait that doesn't have so much kick and so much action as the water begins to cool off, because it's just simply going to look unnatural because nothing's moving that fast in cold water, guys. Another bait I love to Texas rig, and it just looks so natural. It gets the job done, I'm going to say, all year round, all the time. But in fall, it really, really shines quite a bit in some of these real pressured areas. All right. So during the cool water drop, during the shad die off and the minnow die off and the bait fish, because once you get that hard shock, cold rush, that very cold front, that very first cold frost, some of those fish are not going to be able to handle that fast temperature change and those cooler temperatures, and they're going to kind of die off a little bit. And get yourself a paddle tail swim bait, 3.8 kietech, 2.8 kietech. Oh my goodness, guys, get you a 4.4 as well, because a bigger bait, it will definitely attract some fish as well, because during that die off you do want something that's going to stand out just a little bit, okay? So you're going to need that. You're going to need that, guys. So take you one of these here, you Texas rig a kietech or any swim bait, divine swim bait, guys. You seen me do it with that 16th ounce weight on it, and I'm using the same rig for all of these baits, okay? A 3 to 5 size hook, all right? 3 to 5 size EWG size hook, all right? With a 16th ounce little bullet weight on it, and that's all I'm doing. And I'm Texas rigging all of these plastics and getting some pretty decent results. I do it all the time. I love it. It's the staple of bass fishing. So Texas rig some plastics, get an assortment of plastics, and it's like having a tackle box of Lord knows how many lures. All right. So that right there is a big key in bass fishing. And in fall, it just seems to shine because you can slow down your presentation, or you can speed it up depending on the plastic you have, and you can change plastics quickly depending on the situation and the circumstances that are going on out on the water. Because guys, it'll be sunny, then it'll switch to cloudy, so you're going to have to switch it up right along with it. All right, so Texas rig a bait, and you will love what happens out there on that water. You just got to be a little bit patient sometimes when you're picking apart those lay downs, those brush piles, those bushes, and hitting underneath of those overhangs, and really trying to pick some of this water apart. And it's just fun overall fishing. Yes, guys, Texas rig gets it every single time. I just love it. I just love it. All right, guys. So we still have 1 to 2 more baits, guys. So bear with me. But these techniques during fall, all fall, just doing all fall, going into winter, you can also fish a few of these same baits, but we're going to get into that later on and as we get closer to wintertime bass fishing. All right, so moving on to the next bait, guys. It's got to be in everybody's tackle box. All right, everybody has at least one of these for those very interesting weather days where it's kind of breezy. We got a little chop going on, guys. You know what's going on here. The spinnerbait. Yes, the spinnerbait. This bait has been around for so long. Come on, guys, you know it. The weather's going to change. The wind direction changes in this fall period, and we start to get that northeasterly wind. We start to get a little bit of conditions we don't like. We start to get some chop out there. And what's best? A spinnerbait. All right? A spinnerbait will get you anywhere you want to go. It is fairly weedless. You can throw this stuff real close to cover, like lay downs, all right? You can get under some of those overhangs as long as there's not so much debris that you can't fish this out of there. This thing really goes everywhere. You can go deep with this thing. You can keep it shallow. You can keep it right at the elevation that the fish are at, guys. So a spinnerbait on those weird weather, little choppy days, a little bit of wind on it. A spinnerbait, guys. A spinnerbait even works sometimes in the calmer conditions as well. It's kind of interesting, but experiment with the bait. Give it a try. Trust me, man. A spinnerbait, keep that thing with you all fall, guys. Just keep it with you and you work that thing. You give it a couple twitches, you slow it down, you speed it up. And sometimes I just like to work the tip and kind of let that thing pendulum just like I do my swim baits. And you will also come across a decent bite or two. It's just, you gotta see what the fish want. Try everything, try anything, and it works, guys. I'm just saying. Play with it a little bit, see what happens, right? This bait here specifically is the Booyah spinner, and it has the gold Colorado, that silver willow, and it's just a little bit larger profile spinner bait, not so finessey, and I like to put like a Zoom pulse swimmer on the bottom of that thing, or any other swim bait that you just seen me have up here with the kietech 3.8 with the divine swim bait. Those just get the job done. I even put a fluke on some of them, depending on what I'm going for. I do like a fluke on the back of a spinnerbait, but this Booyah really does it. It gets the trick done. This here War Eagle, the War Eagles are pretty good. This one here you see is a double willow, pretty rusty. This thing's going to need to be replaced. I think it probably sat too long, but you see I got that gold with that white skirt. It just really works decent in those messy and darker water conditions. So when that water gets to churning, you get you one of these here, you throw that thing. You see, I'll throw a trailer on it, or sometimes I won't throw a trailer on it at all. And this one here, I don't put a trailer on it all the time. And it's pretty fun. I really get out and play with it every now and again, but keep your one tied on during the fall. And this one's going with me. Yes, indeedy. All right, guys. So, moving on. Definitely use that spinnerbait, guys. Definitely use it. Keep it around you. Keep it ready for those weird weather conditions. So, last bait, guys. I'm pretty sure you've heard it. I'm pretty sure you've seen it by now. If you guys are looking to learn about bass fishing, I know you've looked up cold water fishing, fall fishing, wintertime fishing. Guess what, guys? Everybody knows this one, okay? I think. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. But if you don't know, guys, I'm going to tell you right now. Jerkbait. Get you a suspending jerkbait. This one here is a little beat up. For good reason though. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But everything is still functional. So this one here is a Rapala. It's a nice suspending jerkbait. Definitely have you one of these tied on. Everyone needs a good old jerkbait. Alright. I like a suspended jerkbait. I like to keep my colors pretty natural. This one here is the Lucky Craft. This is the pointer deep diving. You see the bill on that. Get a deeper diving crankbait as well so you can get down to some of those deeper fish. All right. So if you notice, got that shorter bill. That's a shallower dive. You see I still got line on that thing. And that longer bill is for that deeper dive. And I like this natural color when I'm going for a little bit deeper fish, okay? Because they don't see a whole lot of baits. Well, maybe now they do with all the electronics, but they see a lot, but they don't see a lot. And you want to really fool those fish. You want those fish to see bait or food and really go in on that thing. So a nice suspending jerk bait will get the job done. Or a slow floating jerk bait. This one here by Bait Lab, that's a pretty slow floating jerk bait, especially when you put a little bit heavier hook on that thing. That really catches some fish. And I love these colors because in fall and in cooler water and cooler temperatures, and you get that churned up water and you got some color on it, so you want something the fish can see. But I definitely do like this here Guggen jerkbait right here, and it's translucent. This is awesome. I remember when I first got it, and I still fish it when it comes this time of year and cooler temperatures, because this thing here, man, this thing shines in some pretty clear water, but it also gets it with a slight stain to it. I don't know what it is, but this bad boy gets it. I want to say that's the Scout Junior, but I am not sure. I think it's the Scout Junior though. Wow, guys, we made it through those baits. I know it's a lot of baits. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 baits, guys. I don't know. I'm telling you, there's more baits out there that will work. And I just narrowed it down to the ones that I like to keep tied on for me. So go out there, experiment. I hope I didn't take up too much time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something from this video. And if you did, hit that like for me, man. Hit subscribe. Yes, guys, leave a comment. Tell me what you think, what baits you like to use in the wintertime, what techniques you like to use, and what works for you in your area. I think these baits work almost everywhere, but I know they definitely work in my area, and I don't see why they wouldn't work in yours either. So get out there, do some experimenting, check out these baits, go play in the fall when other guys are saying it's too cold. Go ahead out there and catch you some fish. Like they say, tight lines and all that good stuff everybody said. Peace.